The first thing you learn when you're assigned to interstellar diplomacy is don't say anything stupid to royalty, especially not to alien royalty. Unfortunately, I've never been great at that part. I was part of the Terran Diplomatic Corps, low-ranking, freshly transferred, nervous as hell. The year was 2389, and humanity had just secured peace with the Tenera Dominion, a massive alien empire spanning half a galaxy. Their leader, Princess Ceres, was both a symbol of peace and an enigma wrapped in shimmering scales and crimson eyes. And me? I was there to translate cultural nuance and avoid human misunderstandings. Ironic, right? The Tenera were humanoid but distinct, bioluminescent markings, slit pupils, and a faint silver glow beneath their skin. They were graceful, intimidating, and had a reputation for considering humans fragile. The meeting took place aboard the Astral Concorde, a diplomatic vessel orbiting Tau Ceti Prime. The humans, led by Ambassador Harris, sat on one side of the long crystalline table. The Tenera delegation, led by Princess Ceres herself, sat on the other. I was there purely for support, just to make sure we didn't accidentally call someone's sacred mother a space lizard again. Everything went perfectly fine, until it didn't. The princess had been studying humans closely, her glowing eyes scanning us with quiet curiosity. When she finally spoke to me directly, it was like being hit by a beam of concentrated confidence. "You are Jordan Keller," she said in her soft, musical tone. "The human linguist." I nodded. "That's me, Your Highness." She tilted her head. "Your people have such fascinating faces. So expressive. Tell me, how do humans express admiration?" I froze. Everyone at the table looked at me. The princess wanted me to answer. "Well, I stammered. We use compliments. Words that show appreciation." "Compliments," she repeated, testing the word. "Such as?" That's when my brain betrayed me. Maybe it was nerves, maybe it was instinct, maybe it was the fact that the princess looked absolutely ethereal with the light glinting off her silvery skin. But what I said next would haunt me forever. Well, like telling someone they look better than your ex. The room went silent. The translator droid beeped once, then repeated my words in Teneran. The moment it finished, every alien in the room looked stunned. Princess Ceres blinked once, then twice. Then she leaned forward, her eyes glowing faintly. "Better than your ex?" she repeated. "Yeah," I said quickly, trying to laugh it off. "It's just an Earth joke. Humor. No offense intended." But she didn't look angry. No, she looked curious, almost intrigued. "You compare me," she said slowly, "to one who once held your affection and I am better?" I was about to die right there. Harris buried his face in his hands. The alien guards subtly reached for their weapons. "I didn't mean it that way," I said, panicking. "It's just a compliment. Humans, we say dumb things when we're nervous." Princess Ceres' eyes lingered on me for several seconds. Then, unexpectedly, she smiled. "I see," she murmured. "Then I shall consider it a victory." And just like that, the meeting resumed as if nothing happened. But I knew I'd just become that human, the one who flirted with the alien princess during a peace negotiation. Middle, the princess and the fool. I tried to avoid her after that. Really, I did. But avoiding an alien princess on a diplomatic vessel the size of a football field is harder than it sounds. 2 days after the meeting, I was working in the comms section when the princess herself walked in. No guards, no warning. The other officers stood up immediately, saluting in confusion. "Lady Ceres." I stuttered. She gestured for silence. "I wish to speak to you. Alone." The others exchanged looks and quickly left the room. My pulse was racing. She stepped closer, her presence filling the space. You spoke boldly, Jordan Keller, she said softly. You compared me to one of your own kind. I have been thinking about this.
Oh,
Sorry again about that, I said. It was inappropriate. Not inappropriate, she corrected. Merely unexpected. Her glowing gaze met mine. Tell me about this ex of yours. My brain short-circuited. Excuse me? Was she remarkable? I laughed nervously. She was fine. Human. Complicated. Nothing like you. Princess Ceres tilted her head, her silver hair cascading like liquid light. Nothing like me, she repeated. You say it as if that is meaningful. It is, I said quietly. You're different, powerful, and you probably don't want to hear this, but you make every human in this ship nervous. Her lips curved slightly. Do I make you nervous? I swallowed. Very. She stepped closer, so close I could feel the faint hum of her bioluminescent skin. Good, she whispered. Then you understand. Understand what? Her eyes flickered. That humans should be careful when giving compliments to Tenera. Words of admiration carry weight, especially from a male to a female of royal blood. My stomach dropped. Wait, are you saying? Yes, she interrupted calmly. You invoked a challenge. You compared me to one you once desired, and found me superior. Among my kind, that is a declaration. My jaw fell open. A declaration of what? Interest. I nearly fainted. You're saying you think I desired me?
yes.
It was clear. Princess, She smiled again. Do not worry, human. I am not offended. I am intrigued. Then she turned and left the room, her tail-like garment shimmering behind her like a comet's trail, leaving me standing there, completely dumbfounded and terrified. Over the next few days, things got stranger. Wherever I went, Princess Ceres seemed to appear. In the mess hall, in the observation deck, in the diplomatic lounge where she'd just happened to be reading ancient Terran poetry. Each time, she'd ask more questions about humans, our culture, our emotions, our weaknesses. And somehow, our conversations grew personal. She admitted that among her kind, touch was sacred. Tenera's skin could emit energy fields that interacted with neural pathways, too strong for most species to endure. That's why physical contact between Tenera and humans was forbidden. When I asked her if that was ever broken, she smiled faintly. Only once. It ended badly. Her tone made my chest tighten. I wanted to know more, but she never elaborated. Still, there was a warmth between us, a tension neither of us could deny. Then one evening, everything changed. Climax, the forbidden touch. We were on the observation deck, watching the Tau Ceti sun dip behind the planet's rings. The glass stretched from floor to ceiling, and the stars reflected in her eyes like diamonds. You humans, she murmured, you feel so much in so little time. It is both terrifying and beautiful. I chuckled softly. You say that like it's a bad thing. Not bad, she said, turning toward me. Just dangerous. Her voice was low now, softer. Our bodies emit radiation in frequencies your species cannot handle. My touch could stop your heart. I swallowed. That's one way to keep a guy from getting too close. She smiled faintly. And yet, you keep standing here. There was a silence between us. Heavy, electric. I should go, I said quietly. But I didn't move. Ceres stepped closer, her light reflecting against my skin. Do you fear me, Jordan Keller? I'd be lying if I said no. And yet you remain. Her hand hovered inches from my cheek. You compared me to your kind's beloved, she whispered. Tell me, do you regret it? I looked at her, really looked at her. The glow, the strength, the impossible grace. And somehow, I didn't feel fear anymore. "No," I said. Not for a second. Her expression softened. For a heartbeat, I thought she might pull away. But instead, she closed the distance. Her fingers brushed against my skin, just barely, and a pulse of heat surged through me like lightning. My vision flickered, every nerve in my body screaming and alive. It hurt, but it also felt right. She gasped and jerked back, her glow flaring dangerously bright. "Foolish human," she cried. "You could have died." I staggered, catching my breath. "Then why did you do it?" Her eyes shone with something that looked like fear. "Because I wanted to know if it was possible," she whispered. "If a human could endure me." "And?" I said, my heart pounding. Her lips trembled. "You did." Ending, what comes after. After that night, everything changed between us. Rumors spread through the ship like wildfire. The alien princess and the human linguist. Whispers of forbidden contact, scandal, even treason. But Princess Ceres didn't seem to care. When the final peace accords were signed, she approached me one last time in the docking bay as the crews prepared to part ways. "You risked your life for curiosity," she said softly. "Or perhaps something more." I smiled faintly. "Maybe both." She tilted her head. "Among my people, such acts create bonds that cannot easily be forgotten." "I wasn't trying to create a bond," I said, "but I'm glad one exists." For the first time, I saw her hesitate. Then, slowly, she extended her hand again, gloved this time, and rested it lightly against my chest. "Your kind are reckless," she murmured. "And yet perhaps that is what makes you special." The light in her eyes dimmed to a soft glow. "Until our stars cross again." Jordan Keller. And with that, she turned and left, her silver cloak trailing behind her like the tail of a comet. Months later, I sometimes catch myself staring at the stars, remembering that touch, remembering her voice. They said humans and Tenera could never coexist physically, that our biology was incompatible. But that night proved something. Maybe it wasn't about biology at all. Maybe it was about daring. And sometimes, daring is the most human thing there is.